Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys doing fine. We're here to talk about some aspects of flights. I'm not saying here these flights do not exist. What I'm saying is that the flight routes they present us may not be accurate because they make flight routes to represent a globe when we know Earth is not a spinning ball, Earth is not a globe. So we're going to look at some of these flight routes and discuss and present some alternatives to these flight routes. Let's get started with the flight Qantas Q63 from Sydney to Johannesburg. So when we go to this website, which is the Great Circle Map, it calculates instantly. You enter the name of the cities and get the correct Great Circle route on the ball. So all you have to do there, like Sydney to Johannesburg, and then you click go, and then you will immediately have the flight route between these two cities based on the globe Earth. So you may see there that this flight is at least 2,000 miles from Antarctica, the flight routes. And this is the Great Circle Map, the ones that they claim to be the correct flight route on about Earth. So that means that anything beyond that is not the shortest distance on a ball, on a globe. That has to be that one because that's the Great Circle route according to globe belief, the shortest route on a globe. See, they go nowhere near Antarctica, flies at least 2,000 miles from the coast of Antarctica. So there's no way this flight could fly close to Antarctica unless they are not flying the shortest route, which contradicts their belief that the shortest distance between 2 points on a ball is the Great Circle Map. So let's look at this person now who claimed to have taken this flight over the coast of Antarctica. So this is the guy. He took this flight, Paul Stewart, and this is footage taken from my flight in August 2014 from Qantas flight Q63 between Sydney and Johannesburg. For quite a few hours, we had amazing views of Antarctica. The aircraft was a Boeing 747-400, and the footage was taken with a Canon 70D. Apologies for the shakiness. Alright, so this is the flight route on Mercator's projections, standard flight path, 13 hours, and you see there how far the flight route is from Antarctica. It's a big detour, and if you were to fly on the coast, along the coast of Antarctica, but as we saw on the ball, it doesn't look that close at all, at least 2,000 miles. Some images of his flight, according to him, he took these pictures when flying from Sydney to Johannesburg. So at least 2,000 miles distance between the flight route to the Antarctic shoreline. Now let's look at the flattened map and see how this flight really took place. So we have the jet streams from west to east and the trade winds from east to west. They go right above Australia, actually. And this is exactly how it goes. Let's look at closely. The airplane left Sydney, flies along the trade winds towards Johannesburg, nowhere near Antarctica. He was questioned on his YouTube channel, and he said that even though he had brought his camera, he only took a few pictures, no filming or anything. So let's look at the next one. This one by Terry Virts, the astronaut, the same guy who said that we can only go to low Earth orbit, which means 65 miles from here.
The plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So
took this flight in 2019 via both poles with a Gulfstream G650ER aircraft. And he left Florida, Cape Canaveral. That was from where he departed, from Florida. The next step was in Kazakhstan. From Kazakhstan, he flew to Mauritius. It's an island on the east coast of Africa. And from there, he flew to Punta Arenas. And according to their plan, they flew over Antarctica. So we're going to look at that. Now, this is the same Great Circle map. Enter 2 or more airports to draw a route between them on the map and calculate the distance. So I have all the cities there. And we have the flight route. See, you can see here we have the first one from Florida, Miami to Kazakhstan. That was his first trip, nowhere near the North Pole. He flew over Greenland. And then from there, it was the second leg of his trip from Kazakhstan to Mauritius, which is an island on the east coast of Madagascar, actually. From Mauritius, he went to Chile, Punta Arenas in Chile. Now again, you can see nowhere near Antarctica. And that's on the globe. That's on their model. Nowhere near Antarctica, nowhere near the poles, neither over the North Pole or neither over the South Pole. So this is the flight route according to the Great Circle map. Nowhere near the poles. And from there, Punta Arenas, he went back to Florida. Right? So if you look at, even if you look at the globe, you see it doesn't really go over the poles. It's not even over like the middle of the ball. It just made a circle and not really over the poles. So we're going to compare this on the flat earth map and look at the difference between this flight, specifically the one we're going to look closely on the leg from Mauritius to Punta Arenas. We're going to compare now on the flat earth map. You're going to see the way he did. Here we have the Gleason's flat earth map, one of the best maps ever made. And we're going to look now. So that's number 1, Florida, the departing point. From there, he flew to Kazakhstan, and he flew along the jet streams, which goes around the North Pole. From Kazakhstan, he went to Mauritius, number 3. And from Mauritius, he flew all the way from there to Punta Arenas in South America, in Chile. Now, I know some people will say, well, that's a long flight for a G650ER, but let's look on the flat earth map with the trade winds helping this airplane. So here we have again the west to east the jet streams, from east to west the trade winds. You see how fast they can go? They can go up to the jet streams go up to 200 miles per hour. The jet streams and the trade winds are pretty fast as well. So there you have one that goes directly between Madagascar, Mauritius to Brazil. So that's what he did. He took off from Mauritius. He flew along the trade winds. He was helped. He was carried along. And then, once he was in Brazil, he just flew to Punta Arenas. That's how this flight took place on the flat earth map. Right? Not difficult to understand. Now, the last one that we're going to look here is the super fast Supersonic. Probably they took a Concorde and from Buenos Aires to Darwin. Now, I still have doubts if this flight ever took place because there is no videos, anything about it. Very similar to the trip to the moon. You see a young woman today, they go to a bathroom and they take 30, 40 pictures with their cell phones. On the other hand, they all went to the moon. 1969, they took a Hasselblad, which is one of the best cameras in the world. They brought back 5 pictures. Same thing with this flight, supposedly. Anybody, you go to anywhere, to the zoo, and you can take 30 minutes video of your trip, or perhaps even more. But they made a historic trip over Antarctica, and they shot a 14 seconds video. You know, this story is not really, it doesn't seem right. And the flight, of course, that was a supersonic flight. As you can see in the flight radar 24, the airplane took off and went ballistic, flew with the same speed of the sun. You see night time going along, and the plane is following the light of the sun. So this was an amazing amazing feature for this flight, where the airplane flew with the same speed as the sunlight, the sun traveled. It's really like flying with a Concorde, on a Concorde. So did this flight really happen? I don't think so. I haven't seen anything. All I've seen is one 14 seconds video from a window, and they claimed they were flying over Antarctica. Where they got the permit to fly over Antarctica? Did they get the permits from all 51 nations? Because of the Antarctica Treaty, of course. No one is allowed to fly over Antarctica. Did anybody see anything about getting permits to fly over Antarctica? All 51 nations signature on that permit allowing them to fly over Antarctica. Never seen anything. Now, to close, remember this guy, Kelsey, they are planning a trip over Antarctica, supposedly, from Buenos Aires to Perth. Let's see what kind of video and proof they will present. We want to see all the permits to fly over Antarctica. We're going to see, let's see what they will present. They're probably making a movie, and let's wait and see. Alright guys, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.
There was a documentary just put out yesterday, a good one, by the way, people should check out, called Flatten the Curve, by a bunch of pilots and military people. You know, that's our term. That's our flat Earth term.